Sorry, I'm just coming from physical therapy.
You're walking. Hello.
So the live is up and the recording is started. Yep.
How cool is this? No.
You good to go?
We're good to go?
Yes.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 16th, 1:35 p.m. It's our regular meeting of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment meeting. My name is Patrick Tyler, stepping in for our chief city auditor, Dr. Clears. We have our city treasurer, Derek Shanfar. We have our budget director, Gideon Grande, and our common council member, William Frederick. We have a rather large agenda, roughly 18 budget transfers, 3 increase appropriation, and a single common council resolution. We'll go ahead and jump right into it. First request is from DGS seeking to transfer $30,000, $5,000 of it coming from supplies and materials, central maintenance, $25,000 coming from supplies and materials under maintenance of streets. 5,000 of that is going into other equipment, and the remaining 25,000 is going into contracted services. The purpose of this is to cover the purchase of a drain cleaning machine and additional cleanings at porta potties. Our next request is from fire, seeking to transfer $15,000 from their contracted services line. 5,000 of it going into office supplies and forms. 10,000 going to uniforms. This is to cover outstanding invoices for the year. Our third request is coming from cultural affairs, seeking to transfer $20,000, 5,000 coming from other equipment, 10,000 coming from festivals and other account, and the remaining 5,000 coming from contracted services. The full 20,000 is going into their Tulip Festival account. This is to replenish the account and cover future expenses. Fourth request is from community services, seeking to transfer $2,250 from contracted services into their miscellaneous line. This is to cover the reimbursement of mileage. Our next 4 coming from the from the police department. First one seeking to transfer $41,850 from their contracted services line into motor vehicle expense. This is to cover the purchase of a UTV, basically for areas where the police vehicle cannot navigate. They would be using this UTV. Second request from police seeking to transfer $27,500 from contracted services, and once again into motor vehicle expense. This is to restore a motorcycle. Third request from police seeking to transfer $6,000 from other equipment into supplies and materials. This is to correct a voucher and use the appropriate DL line. And similar to that request, their next request, they're seeking to transfer $4,000, once again, from a other equipment line into supplies and materials to correct the voucher and use the appropriate GL line. And then we have a request from police seeking to transfer $15,000 from fees and services. 10,000 of it going into contracted services under admin services. The remaining 5,000 going into contracted services under the Office of Professional Standards. This is to cover recruiting, material, and advertising. All right, next request is from REC, seeking to transfer $1,000 from their salaries line into overtime. This is to replenish that account and cover future expenses. We have 3 more requests from REC. Second one, $25,000 from contracted services into their supplies and materials line. This is to cover food costs for different REC programs. Third request from REC seeking to transfer $25,000 from their salaries line into the temp help line, and this is to cover additional temp help at the summer classic fund. And then our last request from rec, seeking to transfer $5,000 from salaries into temporary help. And this is to help cover temp help at community center throughout the summer. Okay, and then our next four requests are from the water department. First one is seeking to transfer $35,000 from their motor vehicle expense line, with specifically under transmission distribution, going into their motor vehicle expense line under sewer maintenance. And this includes to replenish the account and cover future expenses. Second request, seeking to transfer $25,000 from their gasoline account into fuel oil. This is to cover heating fuel for the remainder of the year. Third request from water, seeking to transfer $230,000 from their vehicles under transmission distribution into their vehicles line under sewer maintenance. This is to cover the purchase of a clam truck. This was originally ordered back in 2021, but they didn't receive it until this year. Then we have another request from water, seeking to transfer $3,600 from their clothing allowance and stipend line, more specifically under transmission distribution. That dollar amount going to three separate accounts, one under sewer, second one under purification, and the last one under transmission distribution. And this is to replenish their accounts and cover future expenses. And then our last budget transfer request from water, seeking to transfer $200,000 from their contingency account into their chemicals account. This is to replenish the account and cover future expenses. Before I move over to increase appropriations, any questions regarding?
I just have one. Okay. What are we restoring a motorcycle for the police department? What is that?
Yeah, so Joe, what was it? They had two motorcycles that they purchased back in 2015, I believe.
Yeah, I know they're both in the repairs. And I don't pick up the exact email. I don't remember the specifics, but I know one of them was in dire need of repairs, and that was the costs.
It sounded like we're like restoring a museum piece.
It is a hard, so it's.
Okay, so well, it could use some restoration. All right, okay, thank you.
Councilwoman, was that it was a similar question or?
No. No, I was not seeing the 200,000 at the top of page 3.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so increase appropriations, as I mentioned earlier, we have three. The first one is from police. AD received a grant, a little over $250,000 from the New York Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services. They plan on using these funds to design and actually build a fence around Albany headquarters. So we're going to first see an increase in the contracted services expense account for $18,000, and then we'll see a reimbursement on the revenue side for that same dollar amount. Our second request from APD, using that same exact grant, they want to use funds to purchase network switches. So we're going to see a increase in the other equipment expense line for roughly $30,000, and then a reimbursement on the revenue and using those grant dollars for that same dollar amount. And then our last increase appropriation is the water department seeking to fund capital project for the environmental facility corporations to maintain innovation grant program. The $2.7 million is a grant from the state. $200,000 is from a work that they did on behalf of the planning department. So that's funds coming from the planning department. So we're going to see an increase on the expense side for under the sewer separation line for $2.9 million. And then on the revenue side, we're going to see that same figure, $200,000 of it coming from unassigned, the 2.7 coming from the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation line. And then lastly, we have a single resolution from the county council. I'll read it real quickly. It's a resolution of the county council approving the replacement of a part-time research council position with a junior legislative aid position within the county council. There will be a salary total difference. So they're eliminating a part-time position salary worth $44,000. They're creating a new position, the junior legislative aid position for $43,000. So the difference of $1,000. We do have our councilwoman here who care to stand on that.
Just, we voted on this last night, those that were present were all in support, we had one absent, so 14 were in support of this. And this is just based on, I think the market and hiring and the type of applications we received that we need to transfer the title over.
Thank you. If we don't have any other questions, can I get a motion to move the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Darius, second by Gideon. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No opposed, say nay. Motion carries, the agenda has been approved.
Motion
Second
to adjourn.
the meeting, moved by Darius, second by Gideon. Motion carries, the meeting has been. Thank you, everyone. I'll pass it over to our city clerk.
Awesome. Thank you.
Open.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Later.
Happy Tuesday, May 16th of 2023. I'm going to officially call to order the meeting of the Board of Contract and Supply. The first item on today's, we'll go with who's present first. Gideon Grande, Budget Director. Darius Shanta, President. Marisa Franchini, Corporation Counsel. Randy Milano, City Engineer. Frank Zioli, Deputy Commissioner of DPS. The first item on the agenda today is from the Albany Police Department. Resolved that the secretary be authorized and directed to advertise for bids for the purchase of motorcycle for Albany Police Department police fleet. Bids to be delivered at a it says a special meeting, but I believe June 6th is a regular meeting of the Board of Contract and Supply.
That is right. But every meeting is really special.
It is a meeting. So the first item to be open today is on-call stripping project. We have one submission from Straight Line Industries, Inc.
Striping.
Yeah.
Stripping.
Gonna say, no, what the heck?
He's stripping up the old line to apply the new.
Spin out when I.
There is a bid bond provided from Straight Line Industries, Inc. Their submission. The total base bid is $269,800 even. If there any additional pricing information is provided, I will make sure I send that in and include it in the final agenda. Now, we are moving on to the next project, the maintenance contract for roofing work for various city-owned buildings. We received one submission from Mid-State Industries Ltd. Bid bond is enclosed. Their base bid is $38,675. The next project is the 2023 Albany Water Board Restoration Contract. We have two submissions. The first one is Callahan Industries, Inc.
I don't have three CDs on mine.
Okay. There is three, correction, thank you. There is a bid bond enclosed. Their base bid is $4,826,625 even. And again, that is the submission from Callahan. The next one is from Peter and Lizzie Groves. There we go. I believe bid bond is enclosed. Bid summary, group A subtotal $1,096,000, group B subtotal $185,000. Group C, 25,000. I don't immediately see where they provided their base bid, but again, I will include it in the final agenda. And the final submission is from Newcastle, David?
That's correct.
Oh, it's nice and small.
Yes, I love it when they tab it. It makes life so much easier. Bid bond is enclosed. Group A subtotal $456,620. Group B subtotal $1,393,500. Group C 25,000. Total bid $1,875,120. And we are moving on to street resurfacing and sidewalk reconstruction. Peter Louise. Bid bonds of. Their base bid is $3,367,250. Up next, Newcastle. First, shout out to Marisa Franchini on the opening. Thank you so kindly. She's amazing. Their bid bond is enclosed. And their base bid is $2,832,842.50. And that was from Newcastle. The next project scheduled to be open today was the renovation and restoration for engine number 9, Galley 360 Delaware Ave. There were no submissions for that project. Also on the agenda, renovation and restoration, engine number 11, kitchen 441 New Scotland Ave. There were no submissions for that project either. The next item on the agenda, Mr. Milano offered the following: resolved that the bid of the following main bidder be accepted and the contract awarded to them for the window replacement project, Arbor Hill Firehouse. The lowest bidder was Gallo Construction Corporation for the amount of $164,300. The Department of General Services has offered the following: resolved that the bid of the following main bidder be accepted and the contract awarded to them for the purchase of travel trailers. The awardee Alpin House RV for the amount of $40,267.50. Mr. Milano offered the following: resolved that the bid of the following main bidder be accepted and the contract awarded to them for the procurement of rigging services to John M. Mullins Rigging and Hauling, Inc. And finally, the following resolution was offered on behalf of the Albany Water Board. Resolved that the contract for the UV equipment installation at Loudonville Reservoir be awarded to Flash Technologies, Inc. for the total base bid of $394,600 as stated in their bid that was received May 2nd of 2023. That
We do actually have a bid for engine number 9 and one bid for engine number 11. We'll go back to which one is for the renovation and restoration of engine 9. We have one bid for.
Thank you, Eagle.
Gallo.
Yay. It happens when I read my thoughts and.
It's not a lot of time between the time it needs to be submitted to the meeting.
I know.
Really. 12 and then 1:30, it's no time at all.
They provided a bid box. And then their base bid is 291,500. An allowance of 30,000, total bid 321,500. And again, that was from Gallup.
Yes, for engine number 9 renovation. This is another bid for the renovation and restoration of engine number 11. We have one bid from Gallo Construction.
Awesome. They as well provided a bid on. And their base bid 339,900, total allowance 30,000. Total bid $369,900. And now this formally concludes the opening for today. Are there any questions regarding any of the items on today's agenda? If no questions, motion by Darius Sanchez, seconded by Violi, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and if there's no additional business, a motion to adjourn.
Second.
There you go,
Yeah.
motion made by Frank, seconded by Darius, all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is formally adjourned. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you to Marisa
Thank you.
for wonderful help.
Thank you.
All right.
Just thank you.
Oh, good.